At 4 a.m., the garage is colder than the street outside, and a rusty 45-pound plate leans against the wall like it has been waiting all night. The danger is not the weight. The danger is the warm bed behind him, and the small voice saying, "Just 5 more minutes." Most people do not lose discipline in one dramatic collapse. They lose it in a quiet bargain no one else will ever see. A blue-collar worker stands in that dim garage gym with his breath showing in the air, smelling the cold metal of iron plates before the sun even thinks about rising. His body wants comfort. His mind wants a story good enough to excuse retreat. So what wins at 4 a.m. when motivation is gone? This is where samurai discipline enters, not as hype, but as training. Not to escape the cold, but to stand correctly inside it. He is not a monk. He is not a professional athlete with a camera crew and a supplement company waiting on the other side of the workout. He is a blue-collar worker with rough hands, a stiff lower back, and a lunch cooler sitting near the door because in a couple of hours he has to clock in like everybody else. There is still grit under one fingernail from yesterday. His work boots are by the wall. His hoodie smells faintly like laundry detergent and cold air. The garage gym is not impressive in the way the internet likes things to be impressive. There is no perfect lighting, no music swelling, no polished floor. Just concrete. A bench with cracked vinyl. A barbell that has seen better years. And that rusty 45-pound plate, leaned against the wall, its orange-brown edge catching a thin strip of light from the single bulb overhead. The plate looks heavier at 4 a.m. Everything does. The handle of the garage door is cold when he touches it. The air has that metallic bite to it, the smell of iron plates sitting in freezing winter darkness. He can feel it in his nose before he even reaches the bar. His breath comes out white. His shoulders rise a little, not from effort yet, but from the body's honest objection. The body says, "This is stupid." The mind, more dangerous, says it kindly. Just 5 more minutes. That is what makes the thought so seductive. It does not sound like failure. It sounds reasonable. It sounds mature. It sounds like recovery. It says, you work hard. You deserve rest. Nobody will know. One missed morning is nothing. Get back under the blanket. Start tomorrow clean. And that is where most people misunderstand discipline. They think the real battle starts when the weight is on the bar, when the last rep shakes, when sweat runs down the side of the face. But for this man, the first confrontation happens before the first plate moves. It happens in the narrow space between the bed and the garage. It happens while the house is quiet, while the heat still clings to his skin, while the pillow is still shaped like the side of his face. He has lost there before. Not in some dramatic, shameful way. Just in the ordinary way a person loses when no one is watching. The alarm goes off. He reaches across the nightstand. His thumb taps the screen too fast. He tells himself he is being smart. Then he wakes up later with that dull, private disappointment that does not ruin the whole day, but stains the beginning of it. He never mentions that part to anyone. At work, he can joke. He can lift what needs lifting. He can act like he is fine. But he knows the difference between a hard day and a surrendered morning. A hard day takes something from you. A surrendered morning gives something away before the day even asks. That is why this garage matters. Not because the workout is magical. Not because cold air builds character by itself. Cold is just cold. Iron is just iron. A rusty 45-pound plate does not care whether a man becomes disciplined or quits on himself. The plate has no opinion. It sits there with the same blunt honesty every morning. That is the value of it. Objects do not flatter you. They do not care about your excuses. The plate weighs what it weighs whether he feels inspired or not. It waits in the corner without applause, without judgment, without sympathy. In that way, it becomes a kind of mirror. Not a cruel one. A clear one. The blue-collar worker stands there and sees the truth. Motivation did not come with him. There is no rush of energy. No heroic feeling. No sudden transformation. His knees feel stiff. His hands are cold. Part of him still wants to turn around, walk back through the kitchen, and disappear under the blanket before the house knows he ever left. The thought keeps adjusting its tone, trying new angles. You can still go back. You can train after work. You need sleep more than this. And some of that might even sound practical. That is what makes the shadow hard to fight. The weakest part of a person rarely announces itself as weakness. It disguises itself as wisdom, timing, self-care, reason. It borrows the voice of common sense and uses it to protect comfort. Samurai discipline does not answer that voice with hatred. It does not tell him to despise his body. It does not tell him to treat exhaustion like a moral failure or pain like a trophy. That is ego wearing armor it has not earned. Real training is more intelligent than that. In Shugyo, hardship is not worshipped. Hardship is used. The cold, the hour, the wait, the silence, they become conditions where the mind can be observed under pressure. And what he observes is not glamorous. His first instinct is negotiation. His second is self-pity. His third is comparison. Somewhere in his head, he imagines the version of himself who never hesitates, who wakes up sharp, who moves like a machine. Then he looks down and sees his own hands rubbing together for warmth. A normal man. A tired man. A man who still has to pay bills, fix things around the house, answer messages, drive through dark streets, and make a living with a body that does not always feel ready. That is the human part. Discipline has to begin there, or it is just performance. The undisciplined reaction is not always quitting loudly. Sometimes it is soft. He would put the plate back, turn off the light, tell himself the garage was too cold. Maybe he would even believe it for an hour. But later, while drinking coffee from a stained travel mug, he would feel the small internal cost. Nothing dramatic. Just a little less trust in himself. That is what just 5 more minutes steals. It does not steal the workout first. It steals the command structure. It teaches the mind that comfort gets the final vote when the hour is inconvenient. It trains the body to wait for permission from mood. And once mood becomes the commander, discipline becomes a guest that only visits on easy days. But a disciplined response looks different. He does not need to feel powerful. He only needs to stop giving the warm bed a legal argument. He steps closer to the rusty 45-pound plate. He does not load it yet. He just puts one hand on its rim. The metal is bitter cold against his palm. For a second, the touch makes the whole morning real. Not imagined. Not debated. Real. There is the garage. There is the plate. There is the breath in front of his face. There is the thought trying to pull him backward. And there is his hand, still on the iron. That small contact matters because Shugyo is physical before it becomes philosophical. The body must learn the truth in a language older than motivation. Feet on concrete. Fingers on steel. Breath controlled enough to begin. The mind can argue forever, but the hand on the plate has already cast a vote. He is not trying to win the whole day in one heroic moment. That would be another form of ego. He is confronting something smaller and more honest, the first invitation to abandon himself. The garage stays cold. The plate stays rusty. The warm bed still exists behind the wall. But now the question has changed. It is no longer, do I feel like training? It is, who commands this morning? Training begins before he feels ready. It begins while his palm is still stuck to the cold rim of the rusty 45-pound plate, while the bed is still warm in his memory, while the thought of 5 more minutes is still trying to sound like wisdom. He does not hype himself up. That would be too fragile. Hype needs volume. Hype needs a song, a crowd, a mirror, a reason to believe the morning is special. But this garage gives him none of that. The bulb above him hums with a cheap electrical buzz. The concrete pushes cold through the soles of his shoes. Somewhere inside the house, the heater clicks on, and that sound alone is enough to remind him what comfort feels like. So he does the first thing that can be trained. He stops negotiating. Not forever. Not perfectly. Just for this breath. He lets the thought finish its sentence without obeying it. 5 more minutes. Sleep is important. You earned rest. He hears it, and he does not wrestle it like an enemy. Wrestling would only keep him in bed mentally, even while standing in the garage. Instead, he lowers his chin, exhales through his nose, and lets the cold air cut the argument down to size. The first discipline is not force. It is refusal to add another excuse. His hand stays on the plate. The metal is sharp with winter, the kind of cold that makes the skin tighten around the knuckles. He does not pull away. He uses it. The plate becomes more than weight now. It becomes a line in the morning. On one side is the old bargain. On the other side is the next right action. He slides the plate 6 inches across the concrete. That is all. The scrape is ugly and loud in the quiet garage. It wakes something in him, not motivation, but contact. The sound tells the mind, we are not debating in the dark anymore. We are here. We are touching iron. We are moving the morning 1 inch at a time. Then he plants both feet flat. This matters more than it looks. A drifting mind needs a body that refuses to drift with it. He feels the concrete through his shoes. He spreads his toes inside them. He bends his knees slightly, not like a warrior in a movie, just like a tired working man trying to make sure his body is actually under him. The urge to return to bed is still there, But now it has to speak to a man who is standing on purpose. He breathes in for 4 counts. The air smells like cold iron and dust. He breathes out slower than he wants to. That slower breath is not decoration. It is a command sent quietly through the body. The chest drops. The shoulders stop living near his ears. The jaw unclenches. Nothing dramatic happens. No transformation music starts playing. But the first storm loses a little oxygen. The shadow hates small movements because small movements are hard to argue with. If he tells himself, I will become a different man today, the mind can laugh at that. Too big. Too theatrical. Too easy to abandon. But if he tells himself, pick up the plate and load the left side of the bar, there is nowhere for the excuse to hide. The task has edges. The task can be done. So he bends down with control. He grips the rusty .45 with both hands, not carelessly, not angry, not trying to prove that the cold does not bother him. The cold bothers him. His fingers sting. His back feels stiff from yesterday's work. He respects that. Shugyo is not stupidity dressed as toughness. He sets his feet, braces his middle, and lifts the plate clean enough to stay honest. When the plate reaches the bar sleeve, it does not slide on smoothly. Rust catches for a second. Metal knocks against metal. He adjusts his grip, breathes out, and pushes it into place. One side loaded. A small thing. But the mind registers small things. The old voice tries again. You did something. That counts. Go back in. He almost smiles because now he can hear the trick more clearly. Comfort is always willing to lower the standard after the first act of obedience. It will praise you early if praise gets you to stop. So he does not answer it with a speech. He walks to the other side of the bar. Step. Breath. Grip. He loads the second plate. Now the barbell has a different presence in the room. Before, it was an object waiting for him. Now it is a commitment he has touched with both hands. The rusty plates sit on either side like a plain contract. No signature. No witness. Just iron. He rolls his shoulders once. He checks the space around him. He does not rush under the bar to punish hesitation. He makes sure the floor is clear, the collars are secure, the movement is one he can perform safely in the cold. That check is part of discipline too. Ego skips the check because ego wants the image of toughness. Training keeps the body available for tomorrow. Then he begins the warm-up. The first rep is stiff. His knees complain. His breath comes too shallow. The garage is still freezing. He does not pretend otherwise. He racks the bar and puts his hands on the knurling again, feeling the rough steel bite into his palms. He names what is real without turning it into an excuse. Cold garage. Tired body. 4 in the morning. One more controlled rep. That is how the battle shrinks. He is not solving his whole life before sunrise. He is not fixing every broken promise he ever made to himself. He is not becoming invincible between the washing machine and the workbench. He is teaching one morning that mood does not hold rank. Rep by rep, the ritual takes shape. Touch the plate. Set the feet. Slow the breath. Check the body. Move the weight with control. Rack it clean. Do it again. By the third set, the metallic smell of the plates has mixed with the warmth coming off his hoodie. His breath still shows, but less. The garage has not become comfortable. He has become more exact inside it. The thought of 5 more minutes has not vanished, either. It has only moved farther away, like a voice behind a closed door. That is enough for now. Because discipline is not the absence of temptation. It is the practice of making temptation repeat itself to a man already in motion. He looks at the rusty 45-pound plate again before the next set. Earlier, it was proof of how hard the morning would be. Now it is proof that the morning can be entered. Not conquered forever. Entered. Hand on iron. Feet on concrete. Breath under command. And in the dim garage, before the world wakes up, he learns the real 4 a.m. rule. Do not wait to want it. Build the ritual that carries you when wanting disappears. By the time the next set comes, the garage has changed, but only a little. The bulb still throws weak light over the concrete. The corners are still dark. The winter air still sits heavy against the door, and the iron still smells cold enough to taste. Nothing about the room has become friendly. The world outside has not woken up to reward him. There is no applause coming from the kitchen. No one is standing there saying they are proud. The bed is still warm. That part matters. The disciplined man is not the one who forgets comfort exists. He is the one who can remember comfort clearly and still move his hands toward the bar. He steps under the weight again. His hoodie brushes against the knurling. The steel is no longer a shock to his skin, but it is not comfortable either. His fingers close around the bar with that slow, practical grip of someone who knows this is not a scene for showing off. It is just work. Quiet work. The kind that leaves no photograph, no story, no proof except the way a man carries himself later. He lifts the bar from the rack. For half a second, the old voice returns. Enough. It does not shout now. It does not need to. It comes in low, familiar, almost reasonable. You already proved the point. You got up. You came out here. Nobody can say you quit. Go back inside before the day takes everything else from you. He holds the weight across his back and feels the temptation move through him like a draft under the garage door. There it is again. Just 5 more minutes wearing a different coat. Earlier, that thought had power because it caught him soft, half asleep, still wrapped in warmth. Now it has to face a body that has already entered the ritual. His feet are set. His breath is measured. His hands are locked onto steel. The thought is still present, but it no longer owns the room. He takes the first rep down with control. The descent is not pretty. His knees feel thick. His hips resist. A tired man's body does not become cinematic just because the lesson is true. He feels the stiffness from yesterday's labor. He feels the early hour in his joints. He feels the cold trying to make every movement smaller. Then he drives upward. Not violently. Not desperately. Just clean enough. The bar rises. He racks it after the set and stays there with both hands still on the steel. His breath comes out rough, and for a moment he leans forward, forehead close to the bar, not praying, not posing, just gathering himself. The garage is quiet except for that breathing and the faint tick of cooling metal. This is the transformation, and it is smaller than people like to imagine. He is not suddenly fearless. He is not immune to laziness. He is not cured of wanting the easy road. In an hour, he will still have to go to work. The bills will still be bills. The winter will still be winter. His body will still ask for rest tonight, and sometimes that request will be honest. But something inside him has shifted its rank. The thought of quitting still has a voice. It just lost command. He walks back to the rusty 45-pound plate after unloading one side of the bar. Earlier, when he first saw it leaning against the wall, it looked like a problem. A burden. A blunt reminder that the morning would ask more than he wanted to give. Now he sees the same rust, the same worn rim, the same chipped iron, but the object has changed because his relationship to it has changed. The plate is no longer a threat. It is evidence. Evidence that the morning can be entered before desire arrives. Evidence that the body can be cold and still be directed. Evidence that the mind can offer an excuse and still not receive the final vote. He lowers the plate to the floor instead of dropping it. That little restraint matters. The workout does not turn him into a man who dominates everything around him. It teaches him to handle weight without becoming careless with it. He sets the iron down, hears the dull contact against concrete, and lets the sound finish. In the beginning, the plate waited for him. Now it has recorded him. Not in words. Not in praise. In contact. In repetition. In the small fact that he touched the same iron he wanted to avoid and came back to it until the argument got quieter. The garage is still dim, but the darkness has lost some of its shape. A little gray has started to appear at the edge of the window. Not sunrise yet. Just the first weak hint that the world is moving toward morning. He sees it and almost laughs, not because anything is funny, but because the whole battle happened before most people open their eyes. That is where the 4 a.m. rule becomes real. It is not about the hour itself. 4 in the morning is not magic. A person can wake up early and still be ruled by vanity, anger, ego, or fear. A person can sleep late and still live with honor if his duties require it. The clock is only the setting. The real rule is this: the first private decision of the day teaches the mind who is in charge. For him, that decision happened in a garage that smelled like cold iron. It happened when the warm bed made a reasonable offer. It happened when the rusty 45-pound plate sat there without caring how he felt. Samurai discipline, in modern life, is not a costume and not a fantasy of becoming hard. It is the practice of becoming reliable under ordinary pressure. It is the blue-collar worker choosing careful movement over emotional negotiation. It is the breath slowed before the body feels ready. It is the refusal to make comfort the commander just because comfort speaks first. He wipes his hands on his hoodie. The palms are red from the cold in the bar. He checks the plates, puts things back where they belong, and turns off the bulb. The garage falls darker for a second, but it does not feel the same as when he entered. The bed is still in the house. The voice will come back tomorrow. But tomorrow, it will not be speaking to a stranger. It will be speaking to the man who has already learned what cold iron teaches before dawn. Discipline is not the mood that starts the work, it is the command that remains when the mood is gone. When he walks back into the house, nothing about the day has become easier. The work boots are still by the door. The lunch cooler still has to be carried. The road will still be dark when he drives out, and the cold will still be waiting in the truck before the heater catches up. But the first private vote of the day has already been cast. He did not win because he felt motivated. He won because he stopped letting comfort speak with authority. That is the lesson of the rusty 45-pound plate. It never promised him confidence. It never made the garage warmer. It only stood there, blunt and silent, asking whether the man who touched it would honor the decision he made before sunrise. And your battlefield may not be a garage gym. It may be the alarm beside your bed. It may be the work boots you do not want to put on. It may be the quiet moment before you choose the easy excuse again. The shape changes, but the test is familiar. 5 more minutes, 1 more delay, 1 more soft surrender dressed up as reason. So today, choose one small ritual before your mood gets a vote. Put your feet on the floor. Touch the iron. Start the motion. Let the body learn what the mind keeps debating. And if this message belongs in your morning, keep it close. Because discipline is not the mood that starts the work, it is the command that remains when the mood is gone. Hardship is not holy by itself. It becomes training only when it serves a higher command.